I think Glencore is different to other companies operating in the coal industry. It really is about building relationships, and relationships are built on being true to your word and delivering on what your commitments are.
There's two key factors: the relationships you have with people and your environmental performance as well. So you've got to be able to back up what you say with actions on the ground.
It sounds simple, doing what we say, but it takes a hell of a lot of work.
With our operations, we understand and acknowledge that we will have impacts or may have impacts on local communities and environment, and we take actions to minimise those impacts.
We are a very large landowner. We own or manage in excess of 360,000 hectares of land across New South Wales and Queensland, so we therefore take our responsibilities relating to land management very seriously.
The end isn't mining that coal, it's putting it all back together again.
Part of our business is getting that rehab correct.
It's difficult to pick the previously disturbed areas from the original vegetation.
We ask our sites to identify all areas that are available for rehabilitation and include those within their annual plans. So it's not just about achieving area targets, rehabilitation has to be quality.
Our approach goes further than what's required by the regulator. We put a big focus on quality implementation. We've got a big focus on giving enough resources to the implementation and planning of our rehabilitation work, and that gets reflected through the quality of our rehabilitation work.
Since its inception in the mid-1990s, Mount Owen Complex has showcased excellence in coal mining. 20 years on, it's also being recognised for excellence in mine rehabilitation.
In terms of certainly New South Wales standards, and certainly I would think across most of the coal sector in Australia, it's right up there, and it's maintained that position for a number of decades now.
Everybody sees the advantage in having good natural landform left behind. I want my kids to drive past this place, for my kids to tell them, Grandpa used to work in that mine, and they won't be able to see where it was.
In 2011, this area was mined. 4 years later is what you can see today.
We want to see great outcomes of our rehabilitation. We made a commitment back in 2005 as a management team to be on top of it and in front of it and well ahead of the industry in terms of practice here. So that's why you see the results you see at Ralston today.
Reality is mining does have impacts, and it's up to us to manage those, to minimise the impacts on those communities.
Listening to their concerns and acting on them has built trust. 2009 they came to us concerned about noise. We listened to them, modified our DA, bought an attenuated mining fleet, showed commitment to responding to their concerns. Yeah, $180 million, it was a big commitment.
Probably the one thing that sets us apart is we recognise that we're part of the community, and it's not mining or the horse industry, it's not mining or the wine industry, it's not mining or the tourist industry. For the Hunter Valley, we all need to be here, we all need to be successful.
The land uses here have to continue, and their support of the vineyard and of the tourist operations in this area, I think, speak volumes for that approach.
We are the last dairy farmer on the Wallumbye Brook, that's right. They've built us a 100 megalitre dam, put 2 irrigation systems in, and we've allowed them to do their drilling, and it's helped us enormously. We've got up to 250 cows now because of that.
We use anthropologists to understand the human side of the impact, the cultural side of the impact, rather than just archaeologists looking at rocks on the ground.
So we're not just picking up an artefact and then putting it in a museum, we're also protecting the region as well. So that's a great outcome.
We put in place real-time monitoring equipment out in the community so it can actually measure the noise, feeding back to a central control room where if noise levels do get too high, an alarm's triggered, and we're able to modify operations so to minimise that inconvenience.
All our noise and dust monitors are in there. Cameras inside there, they're really useful. We can direct them pretty much anywhere in the pit. And our noise monitors, we have those on-site and off-site as well. They get monitored to the second. We can make decisions straight away.
When we get a complaint, the buck does stop with me. We'll launch into an investigation immediately, and we'll try and find out what it is that's has caused an issue in the community, and how we can go about fixing that problem, and certainly how we can go about stopping it from happening again.
All our community investment is voluntary. It's something that we do above and beyond the regulatory requirements, and it's part of being a meaningful participant in the local community. You do that as an individual, so why not do it as a company? Currently our corporate investment is around about $3.8 million, and the sites will contribute another $1 million across New South Wales and Queensland, so it's about 4.8 in 2017.
We're about being open, communicating with the community. It's taken a long time to build that trust. We want to keep it.
Glencore's worked very hard over the years to, it seems to us anyway, to put the community first.
They respect the issues that we have, and we respect they've got a licence and a right to mine, and I think that respect works both ways.
It's about protecting our people, it's about respecting the environment, being valued by the communities, and doing what we say we're going to do.